I've played a ton of the new Fire Emblem Engage, and I've got 5 beginner tips that will definitely help you out during your adventures, whether you're a Fire Emblem newbie or a veteran. Let's take a look at them. Welcome back, everyone. It's Abdallah here with another awesome tips and tricks tutorial video for Fire Emblem Engage. Today's video is showcasing my 5 top tips that you need to know before you start off on your adventures throughout the entire game. Yes, now these tips are going to span whether or not you're a veteran like myself that's played through every single English release of Fire Emblem, or if this is your very first one. The game is beautiful, it's super well polished, and you're going to have an amazing time. Man, I'm not even done with the main story yet, and I've packed in so many hours. This game is long, and it's definitely worth your money. Anyway, guys, let's jump on into it. But before we do so, I wanted to say thank you to each and every one of you guys who hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We are doing a giveaway of a Nintendo Switch OLED and some fun accessories. If you guys definitely take a look at the link in the description, help us get to 950, yeah? And hopefully onto 1 million. Starting off our tutorial with number 1 is learning the battle mechanics. Now, this is going to be the main concept of all of Fire Emblem, being in the exact position and making sure that no one gets KO'd that's on your team. Anyway, when you start off a battle, you always want to go into swap spaces right off the bat. Now, I'm going to give you guys a brief summary of what you should look into. If you guys want a full-on battle with examples and a lot of information, I've got a dedicated battle guide for you, so definitely take a look at that. Anyway, as you click on swap spaces, you can see all of your teammates over here in the blue spaces. That's where they're predetermined to land, and then you can see all the enemies right over this way. If you take a look in the lower left corner, you can see exactly what kind of unit they are, whether or not they're armored, or if they're cavalry or flying, and what weapons they're going to be carrying as well. As you can see over here, some of these enemies drop some items, such as the Corrupted drop some of these if they're golden, and you are all set and ready to go as you're scrolling through every one of these so that you can know exactly where to set up your teammates as far as swapping them. So like, for example, over here, we have a green unit. We've got a green unit right over this way, and we don't necessarily want him to break us. So bringing this character over here is probably not the best bet, but we can bring our sword unit right over here in this way, and since there's a weapons triangle, we know exactly what we need to do. In case you guys don't know what the weapons triangle is, take a look at the lower right corner, and learning this is the key to everything. It's a big game of rock, paper, scissors on a gigantic chessboard. Master this, and you guys are going to be all set and ready to go. Now, one of the new mechanics in this brand new Fire Emblem game is going to be all about emblem rings and bond rings. Now, this is a super fun mechanic that makes any character able to literally wield any weapon without having to use any of the master seals or second seals. I'll give you an example over here. Alir is your main character in the game, typically a sword fighter without any other proficiencies. If we want our sword fighter to have the ability to use their magic stat and use any kind of fire tomes, we can pair up with Celica's emblem ring. And by doing so, you can see over here that we're going to get the ability Echo, which allows us to attack with magic. And then right over here this way, we also have access to Warp Ragnarok, which is so awesome. At any given time, we can use the Seraphim tome for 3 turns upon engaging. So that's just one example of doing that. Of course, since a sword fighter, you can have Marth and some different skills that way. Sigurd, you can have lances at your disposal for free without being proficient in it. Same thing with Leaf, has axes. Micaiah has access to healing as well. And then what we have over here is just a very small sample of all the different classes. And likewise, whenever you're bonded with someone, you're going to get passive abilities as well. Let's say, for example, I'm bonded with Micaiah over here. I'm naturally going to have resistance +2, depending on how strong our bond is upon battling over here. If we go all the way to +10, I can have staff mastery, I can have knife proficiency. There's a lot of skills that you get rewarded if you focus on bonding by attacking and continuously having turns with that specific emblem ring. Now, likewise, not every single character can have a special ring because there's only 12 of them in the game. You'll be able to see that sometimes you can use a gacha within the game in order to summon different bond rings that will simply give you 1 or 2 plus stats in anything. So Alm B, for example, gives you dexterity +1 and strength +1. So make sure that anyone who's not holding on to an emblem ring uses a bond ring for permanent boosts. And one of the last things about mastering battle really quickly is going to be pressing the X button button to learn more about every single one of these things. Now, a lot of these over here are going to be pretty intimidating as far as strength and magic. If you press the X button, you get a little help box that comes up and it explains it all to you. Dexterity, it shows you exactly what that means. It shows you what the luck stat is, what your rating is. It shows you what crit, avoid, dodge, pretty much anything on the overworld UI, you can press the X button and learn more about it. Our second tip outside of mastering the battle mechanics is going to be all about experience. Now, if you take a look over here, you can see exactly which levels your characters are at. If you take a look right over here, we've got Boucheron, and he's at level 4, and that's going to be very, very weak. You can see over here that his stats are very low compared to other characters, such as our main character right over this way. You can see that our main character has stats pretty much in the double digits, whereas we have some other characters like these in the low ones. One of the things you want to do is be very, very cautious of who you're going to be spending the time with your experience. Now, you'll be able to get a lot more experience gains if you deliver a final blow. So what you really want to do, especially at the beginning of the game, is put aside Vander. He's already a promoted unit. He's already pretty strong. So we want to use Vander to attack a specific enemy but not KO it, and then bring your weaker teammates right on board to get and secure that KO, and then consistently get experience that way so that you can baby some of these characters and really get them really going. Now, you can't and you probably won't be able to max out every single character in the game, so really pick and choose who you want. Now, our next tip is going to be not getting too attached to early game team members. Case in point, you're going to get tons of characters all throughout Fire Emblem Engage, and they're going to have base classes that will be redundant sometimes. For example, Etier right over here. Etier's great. She's one of your first archers that you get, but a little bit later on in the game, you're going to get a second one. Now, do you necessarily have to roll out with 2 archers on the team? Probably not. You'll really want to focus on one of them. Now, one of the main determining factors on whether or not a character is good is based off of their growth rates and their stats as well. Now, while I don't have the information on how fast these characters grow from a scientific standpoint, one of the things that we can actually take a look at is how good their actual skills are. Every single character has one built-in skill that they can bring to the table. Etier, for example, when a unit recovers HP using an item, grants +2 strength for 1 turn. Now, if you find yourself using items a lot in battle, this would actually be really good. But the way I play, I rarely ever use any HP recovering items because I use healers for experience. And I really only save vulneraries for when things get dire and there's no healers around. So anyway, that's her skill. Now, one of the things too is, as I said a little bit earlier, if you go over and play the game a little bit more, you're going to naturally get even more characters, such as Alchrist over here. And Alchrist is an actual Lord character in the game, which is going to be pretty interesting. And so right off the bat, that entire Etier might get power crept by another character that is of the same class. So my thing is make sure that you pay attention to their stat ranges, how strong they are, and of course pay attention to their skills. This guy has a way better skill, which is called when an ally within 2 spaces is attacked, grants strength +3 to unit for 1 turn. So that's amazing. So you just keep him next to people, and his ability Get Behind Me triggers out, and then he's a lot better than potentially waiting on using an item, right? So anyway, keep that in mind. There's going to be a lot of redundant characters that you get, but don't fret because you can change any character to any base class with the use of second seals. And especially in the early game, those are pretty rare, so you want to be able to map out who you're going to bring and bring a balanced team of characters along the way. You've got your sword user, you've got your mage right over this way, you've got your sniper who's an archer that'll take care of all the flying units, you have your healer over here, you've got another mage that you want to bring, you got your heavy armored unit, you have a potential key adept that can protect and heal, and then of course you've got your flyer. There's so many different archetypes: sword user, axe user, lance cavaliers, you've got another armor person, so you really have to make the decision on who has the better skills, who has the better stats, and then go from there. Now, our next tip is going to be learning how to spend your money within the game. Now, as you guys can see, I'm in a skirmish right now with a Gold Corrupted. This guy's pretty interesting because he comes with a bag of awesome gold. It's about 1,200 gold if you KO him. He's relatively strong and does a lot of work, so that's going to be a pretty rare encounter, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what that looks like so that you can start learning how to make money within the game. Of course, it's definitely a grind, and there's not going to be an easy way to make money outside of doing that. So what I want to do is show you guys exactly what that's all about. We're going to go over here to the Somniel, which is our main base area, and I'm going to show you that there's going to be a lot of different options on where to spend your money. Just saying, I mean, you want to be able to equip all of your teammates with the best weapons possible so that you can have the best outcome, but also you want to be able to invest and donate into different continents. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys the bulletin board and how to donate all of your money to different continents within the game. If you click on over here and click on donation, you'll be able to see which continents you're able to donate to. We got Fahrenheit over here in green, and then right on the very top we have Brodia. Now, I've already gotten these to level 3, and by doing so, you'll be able to see the level up effects. So for Brodia, for example, over here, I got it to level 3 by paying 5,000 gold and then 10,000 gold. I already sunk 15,000 gold into it. Now they're expecting an additional 25 to make it level 4. What you can see over here that with Brodia and the level up effects, you'll see that gold corrupted and silver corrupted are going to stay, and that means that anytime that there is a skirmish over here, there's a 20% chance that a gold one will pop up, and I show you that at the very beginning. Silver corrupted might be a 30% chance. Now over here for exploration, after you do a skirmish over there, you're going to get a lot more materials, such as iron, steel, silver, bond fragments, rice, and beans. You'll be able to get all that stuff with multipliers every time you beat a battle over that way. And you'll also get a companion pack. Fahrenheit right over here is going to be the exact same thing. You get more items every time you beat something. So since I got 30,000, I'm going to show you guys what exactly happens when you do that. Here we go. We're going to donate our money. Done. Level up. So Fahrenheit is at level 4 right now. We got 2 donkeys, we got a spear, and then 2,000 bond fragments as a way of saying thanks. Of course, we can go into donkeys and animals in a different guide, but as you can see over here, if I have 50,000 at the next level over here, I'm going to get a lot more items, a lot more chances of the gold corrupted to come out so I can continuously grind even more. And we might get some local garb, some different costumes on board. So anyway, that's going to be spending your money with helping out the neighboring countries, which is super great. And likewise, you have to be a little bit savvy on how you're going to equip your teammates. Well, you'll have access to the armory a little bit later on the game. You can come over here to buy, and then once you want to be able to do so, you can see that there are going to be some very strong weapons over here, especially the super effective weapons like the Armor Slayer, Javelin are very, very popular. Rider's Bane, which is super effective, but it also costs 2,500. You'll be able to see over here that hand axes are going to be very helpful. Hammer is super effective against all of the different armored units. Same thing, you'll be able to get a longbow that you can attack from 2 to 3 spaces. Amazing. Lots of different things, such as Thunder that attacks 1 to 3 range. We got some different arts over here. And likewise, you want to be able to make sure that you have enough money to buy enough staves in the game. Now, all of the stamina within our items are going to be infinite. There's no weapon decay or anything like that outside of all of our healing items. So if you take a look over here, Mend and Heal, they actually have usage amounts, as well as Warp and Rewarp and Illume and Obstruct. All those things actually have usage, so they will break over time. You do want to make sure that you save enough gold for that. So the choice is yours. Make sure that you choose the right one. How are you going to be gaining money? It's literally at the end of certain chapters where they give you a lump sum. Or if you want to go out to the main area and then do some skirmishes and hope that there's some gold units over there, then that's the way that you're going to get money. So you have to be really, really careful, especially in the beginning game, on where you spend it. And then my last tip to you guys for beginners is literally learning everything you can about Somniel. Now, Somniel is going to be your entire home base, and as you can see over there on the menu, Yeah, it looks huge. The overworld is gigantic. There's so many things that you can do in order to augment your stats, in order to build your bonds, in order to find different items, in order to pretty much go through and train your characters. There's so many different things. So I would say take a look around and you can see exactly what happens with all of these. Now, there's too many things to go over in this quick video guide, but spend the time to know exactly what these icons are. What is my room? What does it do? Cafe Terrace. What are those 3 icons? What do they do? The ring chamber. Absolutely imperative you master that. The arena, that's free experience. The plaza has all the shopping over here. The orchard has the amiibo functionality. The pond has fishing. You've got training over here. You've got a farmyard with animals. You've got a grotto that's mysterious. You've got a lookout ridge. You've got the Tower of Trials. There's so many things happening in Somniel. I would say definitely spend some time talking to every person, learning exactly every single menu that's available over there, and then going from there and preparing yourself before you set out for the next chapter. I cannot stress that enough. Now, if you guys are looking for a guide that is going to show you absolutely everything about Somniel, I got you covered. Trust me, that's going to be my next guide over here. So pay attention to the playlist and you guys will be all set with that. And there you have it, everyone. All of the tips that I've got for you for a beginner's playthrough. Now, that's just scratching the surface on everything. And if you guys want even more elaboration on what I was talking about with the battle mechanics, with grinding money, with learning about Amiibo, with taking a look at all the different things in the Somniel, I've got you guys covered. Take a look at the playlist and the links. Links are going to be in the description for that. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy Fire Emblem Engage as much as I do. The game is absolutely stunning, super polished, and one of my favorite games on Nintendo Switch as of right now. So anyway, looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say. Do you guys have any tips that you would recommend for newer players? Now remember, the game literally just came out, so feel free to visit this video after you played for a couple hours and drop some tips in the comments over there. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for subscribing. We'll see you guys on even more Fire Emblem Engage. Take care.